We often moan about the fact that line managers will try and avoid the difficult conversation with an underperforming employee. I often think we should be amazed that they happen at all. It's such a horrible thing to have to do. Telling someone that they are not good enough is a massive blow to someone's ego, and they're left feeling hurt and frightened and occasionally angry. It's like the ultimate rejection. The day that managers come skipping into work, eagerly anticipating having to hurt and frighten someone, is the day that they should give up managing people. And yet, of course, having them is important. And it's often the kinder thing to do than not addressing issues that are preventing that person from being successful. In this 5-Minute Monday, we're going to look at how we can help line managers to do something that is unpleasant and yet vital, having that difficult conversation. Before we start to support a line manager prepare for the difficult conversation, we should remind ourselves about what is our role in this. We're not there to do it for them or give them all the answers, although sometimes that can feel like a quicker or easier approach. We want managers to feel that they have the tools to take on difficult conversations. We're the support, the coach, there to enable them to take on and own the conversations themselves. One way of starting to coach them is to establish how capable and confident they are about doing this. So try asking questions such as, what is front of mind for you as you think about this conversation? What sorts of challenges have you had in the past when having difficult conversations? Have you ever had to give someone difficult feedback, and how do you usually go about it? These questions will give you a good idea of where they might need support and advice, or whether they just need a confidence boost that they're on the right track. There's one thing above all else that helps leaders get the right outcomes from difficult conversations, and that is their ability to keep it adult to adult. Too often, difficult conversations stop being a discussion between two adults and turn it into something more parent-child. In your role, if you can help someone keep the conversation in an adult space, it will mean a better result in both the short and the long term. So get them thinking about how to achieve this by asking them, what do you want this person to be thinking and feeling after the conversation? You may get a puzzled response to this question because often managers are only focusing on what they want to convey rather than the human being on the receiving end. But highlighting the trap of falling into a rescuer or a critical parent role before they have a conversation can be such a useful thing. To be really helpful to managers facing a difficult conversation, we of course need to dig a bit deeper and find out what is the outcome they really want. It's pointless spending time prepping a manager to coach for better performance when they've made up their mind that they really want this person out of their team. Now, you may feel that they're being too hasty or unfair, but ultimately, if we know what their end game is, we can help provide them with options to achieve it. The best support we can give is to boost their confidence, and there are tons of useful tips that can help with that. Things like advising them to practice out loud, or making sure they avoid the feedback sandwich, to soften the blow. And let them know it's okay to say, I don't know, when they don't have all the answers. All of these things can help them to prepare better. And finally, it can also be useful to avoid a couple of things. We should always try and stay out of the conversation meeting itself, no matter how badly the manager wants us there. When we turn up with a manager, we immediately change the dynamic. Instead of it being a conversation between a manager and the member of their team, it becomes much more formal and almost always leads to the employee feeling ganged up on. And so they're much more likely to respond badly. And we should also try and prevent the dreaded performance improvement plan. Can any of us honestly say that we've seen a positive PIP outcome? Now, they don't work for a number of reasons. Performance improvement plans can make employees feel punished rather than supported, leading to anxiety and decreased performance. They tend to be overly prescriptive, using rigid templates that don't fit every situation, causing frustration and unrealistic expectations. And even if it's meant to be an informal process, it's still formal because, let's face it, it's a process. So many managers lack the necessary skills to implement PIPs effectively, leading to inconsistent application and communication issues, and probably an increase in grievances being raised. The primary reason for the failure of performance improvement plans lies in the irreparable fracture that they create in the relationship between an employee and a manager. Once the PIP process begins, this fracture in trust is seldom repaired. We have to keep it informal rather than putting someone into a pre-disciplinary process. The difficult conversation is by definition difficult, but if we prepare the ground, boost their confidence and keep formal processes as the very last resort, we might make it marginally easier for managers to face. Hi, I hope you found this useful. If you'd like more videos like this, then make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications.